Welcome back. The first thing that we'll deal with in this video is making sure we don't run into the error where we go too high on our index value. It's a pretty simple thing. And then we'll also get the images to change with our questions as well. Alright, so we found out that we have a problem here, right? If we just kept adding 1, eventually we get longer than the list. And so what we have to do is make sure that this value is not greater, in this case, than 3 before we try to find it, or else that's where our error comes in. So we'll simply put a conditional in here, so control and an if, and we'll splotch it in right there. And so basically what we want to do is if, and we'll go to the math here, and this little block here is your equality one. So if our, let's just think here, if our global index, right, so I'm just going to click on this, or if our global index is greater than, then our index value, okay, our number of indexes here, which in this case would be 3, then what we're going to do, well, we're going to set that global value, right, back to 1. Okay, so it will loop through. And that's basically it. Now, I did miss this one bit because I'm going to come back to that. But if you could imagine, if we had a 3 in that blank spot, if once it got to greater than 3, so it got to 4 basically, then instead of going to 4, and using that 4 here to cause the error, it would go back to 1. And basically the game would just loop back to question 1. Now, the issue is, what happens if you added a question here? Then you'd have to change the code in this spot. And that's always something that we're trying to prevent. We're trying to prevent making a change here and then having to do a cascade of changes throughout. Because if you do that, then you end up, going to run into errors. You're going to get the program crashing on you. What you can do with a list is you can calculate the length of the list. And there it is there. So if the global length is greater than the length of the question list, then it sets it back to 1. And that makes this, you could put 100 items here, and you don't have to go and change this number here. Okay, you don't have to go back and count how many you've got, because this will automatically adjust to that. Okay, so that's basically the first part here. The next part I want to talk about is how do we get the images to change. So what I've done is actually created 2 extra questions here. So I just, in question 2, question 3, came up with 2 excellent questions. Who was Canada's longest serving Prime Minister? And who was Canada's shortest serving Prime Minister? And what we want to do is match up the pictures to go with it. And so what we're going to do is basically mirror this one. Okay, it's going to be very similar. We're just going to change the basically the name of it and what's in here. So I'm actually just going to copy this and paste it. Just move it over here. So that was our question list 2. It says, well, we're going to call this our picture list. Okay, so I'm just going to change this. And we're going to actually leave all these here. Now the trick is I need to put in the exact name here. And I'm a little bit concerned with my names. I know that 1 is going to be okay. So the shortest serving one is the one that's going to be identified by this tupper.jpg. You have to make sure these are identical to the file name, or else it won't work. And that's why I'm a little bit concerned about this one and this one. I will make sure that your file types are exactly the same, or are much easier. It'll just say Trudeau and like Mackenzie or something like that. So I'm just going to pause this and just make sure I got the right names here. So the Trudeau one, I just copied and pasted and put it in there. And the Tupper one we did already, and I renamed the other one Mackenzie to make it easier. Okay, so there they are, and make sure you put the extension in as well, so .jpg. So now we've got those 3 there. The key thing is that these have to match up. The order, so 1, 2, 3, have to match up with these ones, okay? If they don't, you're going to mismatch the pictures. Because basically what we're going to do is just do the same thing here. Now I'm going to do this one first, because I think we should initialize this. So I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste, and put that in here. Now we're not going to change the question label. We want to do, we're going to set the picture here. So that's actually not going to work quite. I'm just going to delete that. we want to grab the question image, and so we want to set the image. Where is that here? Okay. Oh, there we are. Set image picture 2, and then basically I want to copy this. Put that in, but just make sure you're not doing from the question list. You're doing from the picture list, okay? And then basically this, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to set it here as well. All right, so when you initialize the screen, we've got our first image, right, and our first question, and then same thing here. All right, I think we'll just end this video here. You should be able to test it now. It should, on the next button, it should run through each question, and it should change the pictures, and it should also reset back to 1 when you're done. In the next video, we'll get more into making this more of a quiz game, so there's actually a right or a wrong here. All right, so we'll see you then.